We are living in an era of unprecedented conflict, of rising inequality, persistent injustices, challenges to the universality of human rights, the rise of challenges and threats related to artificial intelligence, misinformation, and disinformation, the triple planetary crisis of climate change, air pollution, and biodiversity loss are putting peaceful, just, sustainable, and inclusive societies further out of reach for many and testing the limits of international cooperation and multilateralism itself.
At the recently held SDG summit, there was a general agreement that the SDGs are way off their trajectory and need urgent attention at all levels and in every aspect for us to make sure that future generations are assured a sustainable environment and a decent quality of life. As we navigate the challenges posed by climate change and environment degradation, it is imperative that we adopt innovative strategies to instill a sense of global citizenship among our citizens.
Korea has been an active advocate in promoting global citizenship education based on shared values of peace, humanity, and solidarity. The recent announcements that Korea will host the 2024 Global Plastics Treaty negotiations in Korea and 2025 World Environmental Day in Korea are some of the key contributions we are making to the global community.
This session brings together leaders, youth, faculty, and experts from universities around the world to share projects that uncover solutions to environmental problems. And they do this through a lens of global citizenship. Today, we amplify the role of global citizenship education in promoting environmental sustainability and consider how effective partnership moves us all toward multilateral solutions for a better tomorrow.
One of the most important words for me in the Earth Charter is subsidiarity, which means let people do what they can at the local level. So as we're talking about global citizenship today, we're also talking about what we do at the local level that empowers our lives with an understanding of that global context.
According to the New York Times in 2023, buildings accounted for 70% of New York City's greenhouse gas emissions, which severely contributed to our current climate crisis. This is a crisis that requires immediate attention and action from the public that we plan to address with our website. Next slide.
The solution we propose, cleangreenny.wordpress.com. Our target audience is high school and college students. What it offers: news, resources, opportunities, and workshops. The purpose is to better inform the youth about affordable housing. Overall, we need to better understand New York housing to improve our conditions to achieve more affordable and sustainable housing. The act getting passed is a great example of why youth need to be better informed about environmental news, because they are and will be future voters. Our youth will have a say in future legislation that could potentially benefit them and the environment.
My students were motivated by the climate justice and climate action. They start to question, like, is that fair to have all the victims are poor and vulnerable? Is that fair to transfer all the garbage from Seoul to other cities? And is it okay doing nothing today, just waiting for tomorrow, reckless?
Now, South Korea is one of the countries that produces the most plastic waste in the world. And while there's still a long way to go to secure a greener future, the country has been globally recognized as one of the planet's top recyclers.
As you can see from the previous news, South Korea has a variety of waste problems. The Inter-Landfill site, which handles the waste from Seoul, has announced that it will close its landfill in 2025. This is due to a lack of space to handle the growing amount of waste, as well as resistance from residents living around the area.
Therefore, There's no doubt that we should find alternative solutions for sustainable green future. At least in South Korea, recycling or awareness is not a main problem of waste issues. Later, we turned our attention to waste disposal methods such as incineration and landfill.
From our feasibility study, we found out that the successful incineration case, Haram-Union Park. Haram-Union Park has diverse functions such as disposal facility and a recycling station with perfect odor cleansing system. We realized that to establish a research recovery facility, we need green technology to incinerate waste eco-friendly. Moreover, we also need efficient and supportive policy of waste management and building research recovery facility. Then, finally, we can expect green circular economy through waste resource between public and private sector.
And last, the stakeholders and the policymakers continuously tried to make conversations with residencies, hosting forums and sessions. As a consequence, the installation was successful.
The major environmental issue involved. Solid waste of 900 tons per day is being collected, including plastic, polythene, and e-waste. Sewage is a subgroup of wastewater, being a major component of waste system. Its disposal is also one of the major issues. Water pollution, that is the contamination of water bodies, depletion of groundwater level, and the poor air quality index because of vehicular pollution and poor public transport.
For waste conversion of waste plastic, use incineration technology coupled with eco-flame technology. In incineration technology, use eco-flame technology. It means that high burner for using at a high temperature. We just convert the waste plastic in the presence of oxygen at a high temperature using high quality burner. In the presence of oxygen, we get the product that is inert gases, some acids, and heat energy. For heat energy, we generate the electricity that is 3 megawatt electricity per hour. In acids, we get the activated carbon. That is, activated carbon can be used to reduce the carbon emission. For inert gases, we also converted the utilizable products.
Where we have converted the complex molecules of plastic into the simplest and with the help of hammer mill.
And if you put the activated carbon, just filter out at a potable water.
So after implementing these technologies, we have seen that the fuel cost reduction was like 30 to 70% is seen, and there is an improvement in economy by about 1.5 to 3%.
The production of the electricity should also be considered as a part of the elimination of the plastic from the environment. And the elimination of the plastic from the environment is the most important issue. Industries and the academia, they need to come closer to work together to bring out a solution in the public-private partnership so that the earth can remain sustainable and we can survive for a longer period.
I basically wanted to say that we at the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, SDSN, want to help all of these student groups to propagate their wonderful work and their teaching, and also to say that SDSN is developing a very active curriculum for sustainable development courses. We have the SDG Academy, which you can find online under SDG Academy.
What we want to do is make impact, right? We want to change something, just not talking. But somehow, all our energy getting into wonderful discussion. Of course, it is a foundation of making things change, but we have to move on to the next step, which is partnership, collaboration, with the spirit of understanding and being compassionate to make better humanity and the planet.
The public authorities became increasingly aware of the need to further develop green education system, especially in primary schools, as part of its long-term adaptation efforts. I have to say that the education in Tunisia has been a priority since its independence. It absorbs 18% of its budget.
NMCG, National Mission for Clean Ganga, had also taken up steps to sign MOUs with various universities, and regular webinars are being organized with the students of the colleges and the chancellors and the senior faculty of the college on various aspects of environmental protection, particularly water harvesting and water conservation and biodiversity conservation.
We hear from young people regularly that, yes, we understand there are challenges, there are problems, but how can we work with the UN to try and tackle those problems and solve those problems and be a part of those solutions, working with the UN?
Delighted to address you on behalf of UNESCO and our Assistant Director General for Education, Ms. Stefania Giannini. I bring a crucial message that underscores the importance of a strong partnership between global citizenship education and greening education for making every learner climate ready in this green transition towards a sustainable future. We find ourselves at a critical crossroads, wrestling with a host of catastrophic challenges, from looming climate crisis and loss of our planet's biodiversity to the alarming rise of hate speech, intolerance, discrimination, human rights violations, conflicts, and pandemics.
We also have to prioritize raising awareness of the critical importance and urgency of climate change education. And let me share with you that indeed I've been part of supporting negotiations taking place here, and indeed there is not agreement among member states that ensuring climate change education should be one of the priorities. So indeed raising awareness is very, very important.
The report is called Building Materials and the Climate, Constructing a New Future. It's in collaboration with the UN Environment Program and the Global ABC Alliance for Building and Construction, funded by the German Ministry. Recent UN report showed that the built environment sector is responsible for 37% of the global carbon emissions. So we have to address the status quo. We have to reconsider the business as usual, and we need a participation across the global material supply chain between building sector, agriculture, and other disciplines to look at the mutual potentials for managing carbon cycles.
We would like to introduce how the combustion technology of EcoFrame affects to make unclean water and unclean energy. EcoFrame's technology can use unrefined pyrolysis oil, so it also can reduce the cost. And the combustion system generates frames of more than 1832 degrees in Fahrenheit. Frame of ultra-high temperature reduce the dioxin and carbon emissions. The EcoFrame's combustion device releases less pollutants than Korea's emission allowance standard, even without a dust collection facility.
We will be presenting about the eco-friendly facility that we have been working on, and also the new opportunity that we are looking for. In solid waste management, there are different methods of the final disposal are currently being used. One of the additional process we were talking is the pyrolysis technology. Using the plastic waste we collected from the urban city, that we can use the process of pyrolysis, and so that we can extract the oil from it. And one of the benefit we can use it for the incineration technology is that oil itself can be used for fuel of the incineration, which will help to save the operation costs, at the same time that environmentally helpful.
It's been a long morning in many respects, not the least the enumeration what else remains to be done if the Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals were to be met, and how much more we need to collaborate and innovate on ensuring diversity and inclusivity of all varying stakeholders, so that we can achieve a global and a planetary regime.
So now, session is over. Hopefully you have those all information in your mind and heart, and then delivered for tomorrow with all together. So please feel free to leave. Thank you so much for having your time to come here. Thank you.